The week of October the 6th to the 13th is going to bring us a very beautiful sky. I really love that Venus in Virgo is in a flow state to an exalted Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is in superpower state and Venus is a little bit under the weather. But when the two of them come together, I think we're going to see something very good happen. So let's get started and let's bring this down to the very important details that you need to know. And one of the things I'd say about it is it's lucky. It's lucky because Jupiter and Venus both bring fortunate events. And when you team up together in a sextile, things will unfold that feel fortunate, favorable, auspicious, and welcome in our lives. And so this is what we're going to talk about. But there's a trick to this, and this little combination of planets working favorably for each of us this week. And it's that they're coming off of a conjunction that happened in Cancer on August the 12th. Jupiter is exalted. He's like, I don't know, the king, on top of his most beautiful throne with all of his diamonds on his crown and his entitled ways of being. And he's so powerful in Cancer. He's in this super exalted state of good energy. And at the very same time, Venus joined him there, August the 12th. And the two of them combine their energies. And so this combination happens not that often when Jupiter and Venus exalt together and hold hands in Cancer, approximately every 12 years. And so there's something about that Cancer part of your sky that's really important as we see this opening sextile this week. So it's not just about Jupiter in Cancer and Venus in Virgo, but it's also about really seeing what you're trying to hatch in the next year until next summer. Okay, it will be on June the 9th when these two planets come together in a different sign. So I'm going to show you the picture of what that looks like in terms of the synodic cycle. And then we're going to talk about Aries all the way through to Pisces, what you can do with this particular energy this week as it's beginning the story that takes a full year to unfold. But you'll see evidence of good things happening. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the whole sign house system, fixed stars and minor asteroids as needed. But I also would like you to know that I do world astrology as well. Mostly I cover world astrology these days for free over at Substack, where I write the Pluto Chronicles newsletter, and it doesn't cost you a thing to get the world content. And I put a lot of world content out, but I also do all signed content over there, written format. So check it out in my description box below. I'd love to see you on Substack, where the algorithm is favorable for putting out contentious and controversial topics. And I'm pretty well unplugged over there. So let's go ahead and let's get the sky up. Before I show you the sky, I'm going to show you something else. And this is not a long video today on Monday, but if you're liking this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe. I've been directing a few of you. My Sky Reader class is now full. It's too late to enroll. But I've been directing a few to Renn Butler's Archetypal Universe Dude. I have his book back here over there. I've been wanting you to check out his class if you're interested in studying archetypal astrology for up to, it's a 6-month class. It's mind-bending, it's game-changing, it's magical. And I took that class in 2020. And I think a lot of you would enjoy learning from him. He's very affordable. And if you say Lori sent you to him, he'll give you a discount price that's not advertised and quite significant. All right, so now what I'm going to do here, he starts his course October 4th, but he's taking late enrollments. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a picture of the sky. All right, so hang in there because I think you're going to enjoy what I'm about to show you. Okay, so here's what I want to show you. I think I'm sharing this window. Yay! This is just the synodic cycle that you need to pay attention to, often ignored in contemporary pop astrology, is that everything is attached to the beginning of something. And the beginning of the thing we pay attention to is Venus, August the 12th, last year, co-joining in exalted Jupiter space on the dog star Sirius, 14 degrees of Cancer, opening up a very auspicious window of time that lasts about a year. And it lasts a year because then there's another conjunction a year later on June the 9th. And thus we get a double Cancer energy, which isn't that common. I've done lots of videos on this already. And then you'll see that we go into a conjunction in Virgo and then in Libra, and you can see these dates. And if your signs are any of these, like Libra, Sag, Cap, coming up ahead of us, then you'll look to those to be indicative of times of a year of something positive connected to your sign. I have an Aries sun and moon, and in March of 2023, Jupiter and Venus joined in my sign. Venus is love, Jupiter is good. And I had my first relationship in 7 years start under that transit. It literally began in March, and it lasted 2 years. And it's okay because we're really good friends, but you know what I mean, right? You could be very predictive with this content. So You Tauruses were activated May of 24 to August of 2025. Good things were trying to happen for you in some area of your reality, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Of course, we'd have to look at your chart to really parse it, but you get the idea. So now that we've got that covered, let's go ahead and let's look at your sign. Not a long video. We're going to complement today's content about the week ahead sextile and how you might receive that with a little conversation from Animal Spirit, Kim Kranz. I love Kim Kranz. And let's see what we get in terms of a couple words of guidance for you to go along with the astrology. A lot of you know I'm now mixing it up. I'm really enjoying the combination of astrology with an oracle card draw. Let's see if that's gone. I don't want that. I want to share the chart. Let me get rid of that and stop that share, because it's not sharing what I want. And I know you guys have seen me struggle with the hot mess that's become the new Zoom software. Share this window. Thank you. That's your chart. Okay, let's go ahead. We're not starting with Scorpio, but you'll see the sextile. There's Jupiter at 23 degrees, and this is Venus at 22 degrees. And the energy between them is a combination that is positive. And for some reason, I've also lost the ability to annotate. That used to just pop up the annotating, and it's no longer here anymore. Really? Really? It's just gone. There used to be a little annotation bar every time I used the screen share. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to do something to do with Aries starting first. And I'm going to talk about the vibe of how you can facilitate success in your Cancer sky through things that occurred this week to further you towards that blessed place of success that will be in play till next June. So let's line us up. This is Tuesday, by the way. This energy is active Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. It's pretty exact on Wednesday, Thursday. Let's go back to the Aries. So, hey, Aries, sun, moon, and rising. I have a sun and moon. I totally get this vibe. This is your sky. We're looking at how you're going to benefit greatly from this beautiful flow that happens between Lord Jupiter in Cancer and Venus in Virgo. I'm now at Monday, but let's move us to Wednesday so you can see. Maybe I can hold on to the, yeah. She is at 24 degrees. And we'll say it's more exact here on Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, crisscrosses over. These two come into a perfected sextile, and something good wants to happen, Aries, in your life by next summer, by mid-June. What wants to happen is going to bless you in your fourth house. And your fourth house is home, property, real estate, or in this case, sometimes more children, like grandchildren are coming into the family, more an expansion of the family system. And also maybe the energy of prosperity and success through things you're doing in and from the home. Teaching, writing, communicating, doesn't matter. You may even have a guru visit your home or spiritual teacher in the next year and bring great blessings as well. But certainly it brings prosperity from the home or connected to land, property, home, and real estate. And so with Jupiter here flowing to Venus, this is a house that has to do with servitude, work, and health. You could find some real big turning points this week in your health as you probably let go of a substance abuse or something you're eating that you shouldn't have, and maybe clean up your diet a bit. I'm making some soup right now from duck bones. I mean, I'm really wanting to be healthier right now. And I can feel this energy picking up steam already. I'm recording this on October the 5th. I think also that if you are thinking perhaps of a pet, this could bring in a soulmate pet into your life in the next week. You might hear of a news of how to get a pet into the home. Jupiter can expand everything in the home, including animals and people living with you. And also, and Venus is in the house of what we call rentals properties, because it's like the old house of serfdom and indentured servitude and like living off the land title guy, like in the middle ages, like you're a farmer serfdom renting the land, right? To work the land. So there's a sense of rentals here in our modern day. And so if you were looking for an auspicious opportunity regarding a rental property, it may come your way, because there's a lot going on here that says some prosperity and some gilded gold in the home. It's kind of a little bit like, Donald Trump's luscious, archetype of all the gold in his everywhere he goes. He's the ornate and the golden. Something ornate and golden is trying to happen in your fourth house by next June. The opening salvo, pets, better health, a new home office space, or maybe something beautiful happening regarding a beautiful rental opportunity as well. Now, one thing I'm going to show you is the card by Kim Krans in the Animal Spirit deck. So I love this deck. I've had it for years. A girlfriend, well, a client sort of became a bit of a friend. Her name is Kimberly. Gifted this to me in 2017. I cannot believe I still have it. Like, it's insane. So, you know, because I'm tending to travel a lot and I take decks with me and I move a lot and then I pass it on to somebody else. And I still have this, the hummingbird. When I think of a hummingbird, I think of the nectar and the sweetness of life. But that is your symbol for this beautiful week's sextile between Venus and Jupiter. And let's see what some of the vibes are. I'm probably not reading every card. I think this video might be no longer than an hour and 10 minutes. Please like and subscribe if you're new and give me a try. And if you're one of my regulars and you still haven't subscribed, please do. Please help the channel thrive and grow. Hummingbird. Yes, the algorithm is a tricky beast, right? So I'm trying to stay away from controversial world events. You won't believe how it tanked my numbers when I talked about the Kirk thing. So, and you know, anything complicit players in the situation of the Patsy and who really did it. So we're not doing that stuff here. It's not safe for my business. So here we go. Some people say I should just speak out. No, this is my livelihood, guys. Hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. This week, I want you, fellow Aries, to be positive, enthusiastic, and spiritually resourceful. And your key words here, well, I can read some of it. The hummingbird resides in an endless well of energy. It has an endless well of energy and positivity. Hummingbird's secret is they have learned where to gather nectar, and they return to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet and every moment is worth saving. That's so true for me. I'm planning to go to the beach. It's going to be sunny on Monday. I work. I never stop. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to go sit on the beach on Monday and get my feet in the icy water. I'm just going to go for it. Now, I live in Vancouver, Canada, so it's pretty chilly. When in balance, smart, curious, and loves to learn this week. And if you're out of balance this week, you will be pushy, insistent, and sharp. And to bring yourself into balance, you should take a class. Well, I'm teaching a class or two, so I don't think I have time to take one, but I'll certainly find sources of sweet rejuvenation, and I encourage us all to do that. Remember, we're aiming for a longer-term prosperity and glorious improvement in our home matters by next June. So you're a Taurus and you're ruled by Venus, so you have to really pay attention to what she's up to. She's the boss of you and she's trying to always do something good for you, but she's busy surrendering some kind of pleasure or some kind of thing that brought you satisfaction. And that could be a literal pleasure, something you imbibe. It could be a romantic love story as having some kind of glitches. You have to let go of an attachment to it. A situation with one of your children, you have to let go, or they do. Now, this has been playing out for you, right? So it's already behind us. This is last week's conjunction. And now Venus is getting support from Lord Jupiter. And what Jupiter's trying to do is by next summer, June, he wants to bless you in the third house. With Venus's help, they're going to try to bring you prosperity, success, expansion, and growth connected to neighborhood, neighbors. Quite often this can look like an auspicious change of neighborhood, moving to a different part of town or even a different city. Something like that could occur. This is also to really give you a glow up by next June of something to do with social media landscape. If you're a content creator, if you have a website, if you're on the social media world, this is a beautiful, beautiful glow up that's trying to fulfill itself by next year, next summer. And finally, there's blessings for a sibling one younger, blessings connected to your extended family. They all get collateral benefits, those aunts, uncles, and cousins. If you're communicating in the world to write, market, or sell, those are all going to be glow ups as well. And if you want to learn something, this can often send you back to school, but you're not going to go off to get an ivory tower ed. You're going to go off to school by next June and even beyond that, even the year after that, because there's a skills-based educational path that you wish to take in order to succeed in professional endeavors. universe. Now, what we would also say about Venus here, right, in your 5th house is that she's in the house of what gives us authentic enthusiasm and joy. She's been through a rough time crossing that South Node last week. You might have felt really, really on the precipice of some intense transformation, like it is time to karmically release something, the addiction, the friendship that doesn't work, the relationship that's no longer fruitful for you. Something like that. And like, if you did let go of something like that, you're on the other side, even letting go of an attachment to an adult child and what's going on in their life, those sorts of stories. Let's take a look though at what the week ahead provides for you and by the way, entrepreneurial energies are the 5th house. So you might have to let go of an entrepreneurial business. That could be like selling your business, especially if you have a brick and mortar or online business. That combination would be like, have you been thinking of, and this is true till mid-October, surrendering some business, releasing it, letting it die on the vine, maybe selling it, it can be anything like that. Now, the guidance for you is the fire ant. Okay, Taurus, there is an ant and it's hot and it stings. Let's see why we have a fire ant for you as you are experiencing a relatively good blessing this week ahead. Fire ants, okay, you guys have this color, this situation. Everyone who knows Kim Cran's book and loves it like I do know you have to look manually for it. There's no easy way to find it. Fire ant, aggression. Okay, these are your keywords: aggression, rigid thinking, and following orders. So fire ant flares up without noticing. It's a force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. So when we talk about imbalances and we talk about the house of pleasures and we talk about Venus in the South Node and she's fallen, are you hanging out with people who just are hedonistic, debaucherous? Are you hanging out with people for whom the seeking of pleasure is no longer useful for you? Like that's not your culture anymore. And she talks about some of the things that can happen in these imbalances, like gossiping and blaming. This is misaligned fire ant energy. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or a situation, only making things worse. So how can you break free from the drama and cool down this week? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Do not pretend the heat is not getting to you. So keep interpersonal intensity sort of on the back burner. Jupiter is the element that will help you soothe that if that's happening in your romantic life, in your friendship life. And Jupiter can literally be also somebody in your local environment, your everyday world is playing the role of Jupiter, a guide, an advisor, a mentor, or a therapist that really can help you this week. When in balance, you are thoughtful and disciplined this week, and out of balance, you argue, you are gossipy, and you have excess heat. And to bring yourself into balance, you might try solo time and walks at night and solo time to sort of just decompress. All right, moving into the next sign. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. What a week we have with this beautiful flow between the benefics. And know that Jupiter and Venus are working to bring something good to you. Jupiter made a conjunction in August 12th in your 2nd house with Venus that lasts in its outlay until next June. And this is to help increase your financial well-being and prosperity. I have a progressed Gemini sun. Sun can represent one's career. And I have been extremely fortunate in my prosperity as I filled up my Sky Reader course this year beyond my expectations. So there's an example for you. And this is like the Hail Mary pass for the next 2 years, Geminis. By the time we get to 2 years, like summer of 27, you're going to feel like all your money situations have improved, your earnings, your possessions, you have been gifted with luck around finances, right? So this story was incited in August by a combination of Jupiter, Venus in your 2nd house. The opening, beautiful flowing sextile energy is occurring in the 4th house of property, home, real estate, midnight hour, home, time in your private life, alone at home. This can also be anybody in the home with you, right? Living with you or spending time with you. So you went through like last week, especially around October 4th, a letting go, a releasing, a surrendering of a karmic burnt out desire or element of concern. Or it's like really with Venus down here, you could even have let go of a childhood situation, like, a wound around your lovability, your values, your likability or something. Something could have changed as you processed your childhood last week. And Venus rules pleasures and desires as well. And if you have an ancestral history of, family members imbibing addictive to substances, because she rules your 12th house of self-undoing, some of you really came to like a turning point energy last week. It's playing out until October 13th. Some of you probably started sober October, for example. And Venus is helping you let go of those burnt out pleasures. These are karmic releases of great power. And you may find that what Jupiter is trying to do, because he's in the house of what you eat and what you put in your nose and mouth face, find you some very satisfying other kinds of pleasures, oral pleasures, dietary habits, and ingestion of substances that are better for you. And this is going to be a great Monday through Friday as you come into a relationship to this better dietary style, habit, or pattern. Now, finally, financial opportunity connected to prosperity, work, earnings, and home, something to do with your home, what you do in your home. So looking for that opportunity to show up in the week ahead. Let's take a look at the Kim Krans Oracle deck. There's a helicopter flying for you guys in front of my window. And it's going, I've never seen a helicopter go this slow. Like it must be a touring helicopter. It's barely moving. It's in slow motion. It's really low, like really low. It's yellow. I don't recognize it. Maybe it's what kind of helicopter for a news station? It's not the emergency helicopter for people who are going into their, hospital situations for trauma. Black egg. Okay. This is not one of her regular cards. She has these metaphysical cards that are not about the animals. So this is a powerful card. It's kind of like getting a major arcana card for you guys, and me too. Progress sun. Sun is your career, moon is your home and nest, emotions. Rising sign is your simulation avatar. I forgot to say that in the beginning. I say it all the time. I'm starting recording my 2026 All Signs videos. I'm going to do it in the dawn hour with candlelight because I'm getting up every day. I got up at 4:30 a.m. today, really early. And I think it's kind of cool because I'm very still in the morning. My mind is still. And I really want to give you guys in my All Signs 2026 bundles. I sell this stuff every year, 2 to 2.5 hour videos. I want to give you some really good guidance. And I'm going to try to center in. They're not for sale yet, so don't ask me. I have to record them. So here we have the black egg. Sorry, it's a deal to find it. All right, fellow Geminis, I've progressed sun. Progressions are not as important as your natal position. Black egg. Speaking from an authentic voice and the truth. Well, Geminis, we are the communicators and we talk a lot and we speak and write and communicate. An authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion. Oh my God. Can we say heck yes? Me and Dove and Tarot. I got to get the guy on my channel. Heck yes in the comments. The second house isn't just what you put in your mouth, where Jupiter's sitting as he flows to Venus, or what you inhale through your nose. It is what comes out of your mouth. It is the house of speech. It is the house of the voice. Heck yes. Oh my God. The truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. And this living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or even public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, and the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? What is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear. We gossip or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits this week for us Geminis to connect, to reconnect. It's available at every moment in every situation. It is the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. And of course, it is the fifth chakra right here. OMG. As Jupiter goes through the house of voice, speech, and talks to Venus and loves her up from the fourth house. Okay. Yes, I love that one. Let's move into the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. So if you're a Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign, which you might be, sun, career, moon, home, and home-based matters, rising sign, anything about your life as a simulation avatar character, here's what you've got to pay attention to. Jupiter is in your sign till next July. This is important. This is powerful, and this is blessed. And because of that, you have this kind of fairy godfather protective element around you, but you don't always get what you want. You get what you need. That's Jupiter's mantra. The Rolling Stones got that one right. And so here, Jupiter, the wise one, the guru, the knowledge and wisdom holder, and dispeller of darkness, is flowing to Venus in your third house. But remember, in the intro, I told you that this is coming off the August the 12th conjunction in your sign. And so you're trying to understand reality through the lens of Jupiter and Venus, which is what good things can come to me that are pleasurable, joyful, enjoyable, prosperous, and good over the next year until next June. And good news, it sets itself up for a second run. But this energy is now opening sextile, and we call that like the first salvo, the first testing of the new story. And it's interesting because you have a lot of energy of last week. What did you let go of in your third house? And a difficult situation with a neighbor? Did you let go of some social media aspect of your reality that's no longer useful to you? Did you release or surrender some project you were doing about marketing, communicating, selling, or teaching? Did you release something connected to a sibling one younger than you and just sort of like hands off? I have to let that go now. These are vibes that you might have been feeling last week as Venus South Node combined. And now that she's outside the other end of that story this week ahead, Monday through Friday, here comes the goodie bag. Now, the goodie bag could be like a blessed opportunity for a travel with a female, right? A sister, or this is a house of siblings. So a travel opportunity may be coming your way with a sibling. Some good news may be happening for a sibling one younger, and you're going to hear about it. You might have some blessings from a neighbor. They come over with a basket of fruit from their garden. You might have some kind of significant shift of positive energy around some of your online social media work or lifestyle as well. And I don't mean that you have to be a social media influencer like I am. You could also just have some changes in like your own, like you just discover Substack and you're like, I love this place. I'm going to grow my stuff here. That's an example, right? So here we have that energy playing out for you. Golden opportunity to learn, take a class with somebody, a local class, something good is happening. If you're single looking for love, maybe love could show up in your local environment, like a yoga studio or something you do in the local neighborhood. That's another code. Or a short distance travel opportunity also leads to a romantic opportunity. Jupiter and Venus could bring that to you under this kind of a sky. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what Kim Kranz and the beautiful Animal Spirit Guidebook, The Wild Unknown. She's amazing. Kranz is spelt with a K. What does she have to say for you experiencing this beautiful Venus energy, the opening up of something new for you? And I want you to think about this as it pertains to testing the waters this week for something that flows all the way through till next summer. Well, of course, you're a water sign, and wouldn't the fish make sense? I always say Cancer pond. Well, Cancer swimming pool or pond, Scorpio marsh or swamp, and Pisces oceans and seas. So here's your fish. Let's see what the fish has for you. And fish are abundant and bounteous. And of course, Jupiter rules Pisces where the sea is. So you got to love that. You really got to love that fish. Let's take a look. Not a starfish. It's just a fish. There we have it. All right. The keywords for you this week ahead, as you go through this, Jupiter expansion blessing with Venus in the third house: restlessness, change of focus, and lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than the movement. Movement. Are you moving to a new home in a new neighborhood? Movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while because the third house is travel. The third house is neighborhoods. You might travel, you might move to a new home in a new neighborhood. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to some weariness and slippery relationships. So this week ahead, with all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish can become lost without clear goals and intentions. So spend time with the lunar forces, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. Well, of course, the moon will soothe your soul. You're Cancer. The moon is the planet that rules you. When in balance, and the moon will be full on October the 6th. So go out there and take a look at that beautiful moon on fixed star Alpharets. It's a gorgeous, positive moon. It has collateral Jupiter blessings as well. When in balance, you are this week adaptable and you travel well. Can we say heck yes in the comments? I don't care if you're just traveling down to the town next to you. There's travel for some of you this week ahead. When you're out of balance, you are distracted and you change your mind often. So watch out for the fickleness that the flip-floppy fish can do. But you're not really that way. You're cardinal, but Jupiter does rule Pisces. And when you're in balance this week, you set small goals and you accomplish them. One task at a time. Let's go ahead and do the next sign. I'm going to be right back. Pause the recording. I need to get some water, or I have this kind of a fizzy tea. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm ready to keep on keeping on. This is this new tea I found, Sparkling Botanicals, and it's called Shishandra Berry. Kind of matches my top. I can't believe it's sunny and warm here in Vancouver on October 5th. I'm going to head out there as soon as I finish, get to the farmer's market and see if I can get some sun and relax a bit. Oh, okay. Let's get going on keeping on with your sign. And if you like this kind of content and you're, enchanted by my presentation, would you hit the like button, subscribe? Think of it like a tip jar, especially the like button. It's just simply the smallest finger click, and it really helps the channel grow. All right. If you are a Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign, this story is really, really, really about Jupiter and Venus on August the 12th, connecting together in Cancer, your 12th house. So this is where they hooked up. And that story is playing out all the way through till next June 9th. And so there's something that wants to be seeded here of goodness. Some of you might end up finding yourself, finding a spiritual teacher, ashram, guru, enlightenment. Some of you might travel to far off lands and shores, go on a pilgrimage, or maybe make a lot of money on borderless income and digital revenue, or international clients, or get hired by an international company. Those are other prosperity metrics for the 12th house. And you're going to find a lot of joy and happiness by being alone. Solitude and time away from others can be very good for you in the next year. All that aside, this opening sextile this week has a beautiful energy of Jupiter flowing to Venus. And I go back to last week because Venus was with the South Node, and something about last week was like, okay, I got to let go of something, release, surrender, and release it. It could be let go of a financial situation that doesn't work for you, let go of something to do with your dietary habits, something that you ingest and it's no longer right for you. And maybe even letting go of something to do with your, in your family system. Like in India, this is still your family. Your second house can be your, letting go of something within your family situation and releasing it. And technically, I kind of feel like with this, you might also have let go potentially of a pleasure that isn't serving you, that would come in through your nose or your mouth, right? Because it's the face. And so did you release some, a pleasure? It doesn't have to be addictive. I doubt that it is, but it could have been. But you go, okay, this isn't good for me anymore. I'm not going to eat Haagen-Dazs every night before bed, So were you working on that last week? And it's a very deep releasing because it's karmic as well. And any karmic situations to do with your family or money matters, you're releasing those as well. Now, that was last week, and now Venus is getting cheered up by Jupiter in the opening sextile. Now, there could be opportunity for travel abroad or to far off places coming your way this week. It doesn't mean you take it, but you're going to hear about it. There could be some opportunities this week ahead, Monday to Friday, for something to do with a person offering you something from a backroom deal and negotiation. Venus rules your house of work and career and 10th house of reputation. And so you might have some people working behind the scenes to get you a contract, an offer, or a deal for some job. And it's going to be a beautiful job. You're going to really like it, especially with the exalted moon traveling up there midweek. And so, beautiful career openings or opportunities, and might even have you letting go of some kind of path of earnings that no longer serves you, as you have something much more prosperous picking up steam. Just a side note, some of this guy has a bit of that old elder in the hospital inheritance bequeathment vibe as well. And there's just the thought that prosperity with Jupiter in the 12th and Mars in the 4th, that could look a little bit like, okay, well, great grandma Susie is, passing on wealth, and I'm in the alignment, for some of that coming to me, that kind of thing. Now, I also would mention one more thing about the second house. It is your voice. So it's about like something about the way you speak or the way you voice things is changing here. Last week, you realized you have to choose a different modality for how you communicate. And Jupiter's giving you blessings on any new style of the way you share your communications with others. I'd even a value. Did you let go of a value? Like you've always valued something, honesty, friendship, well, we all should value honesty, but maybe a cherished value is being surrendered and released. And especially potentially connected to children as well in your chart, just so you know. Because Jupiter rules your house of children. So some Leos who have kids might be letting go of a situation regarding a child, maybe letting go of your attachment or how you handle that situation with a child. Sometimes we handle children like we're the boss of them. And I mean, of course we are when they're little, but not when they're adults, right? I was surprised to pull the unicorn for you. I don't know what that's going to say. This is one of her like major arcanas in the sense that Kim Kranz has a bunch of mystical creatures and spiritual things at the back. So Leos, you didn't even get an animal. You got a unicorn. I think if the unicorn is the third eye, it probably is. I think she has it the same way. And Jupiter in the 12th house is very good for your third eye. Now, Uranus tends to also activate the third eye. And right now, Uranus is traveling through our heavens in your 11th house, sextiling you. But Jupiter is like wisdom, guru, knowledge, dispeller of darkness in the 12th house. So if you want a third eye up, I bet you that's what use your intuition, basically. All right. Sorry, unicorn, where are you? There. Okay. So this week ahead, just this week ahead, try to take this approach to the sky. Reconnect to higher wisdom or divinity. That's Jupiter. Jupiter in your 12th house is like full enlightenment or finding a spiritual guide or teacher. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did it ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship to divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the universe. Oh, in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can with Jupiter in your 12th house, especially your dreams at night. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or is it female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about our higher self and the divine. It's a card of questing, exploring, contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day life, a deeper dimension to our experience. Yes, your Jupiter in the 12th tells you that. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You're the unicorn and you've begun your quest for answers. I channeled a book called The Coming Age of Miracles. And the first line of that book was, to hear the voice of God, you must listen with the ears of the soul. So with Jupiter in your 12th house, is a deeper connection to the divine is being called forth, but also your own inner knowing. Because as soon as you activate the 12th, you activate all of the superpowers of the 8th house as well. Your clairaudience, your clairvisual, your clair-knowing, clairsentience. So use that power this week ahead and see what you get from that. This is a story for you. I made it up. Sounds true. Whoa. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign, Lord Jupiter and Venus combine forces together for your benefit on August the 12th in the sign of Cancer. And that will be a part of the sky that brings windfalls, pennies from heavens, and blessing. You have friends, allies, and benefactors, or an elder sibling one above you, all benefiting you greatly between now and next June. The seed was planted in this 11th house to also open up doorways of opportunity to fulfill some long-term goals, wishes, and dreams, and perhaps, and most likely, increase your financial prosperity and gain through the career or work path that you've chosen. And so this also can also bring new friends to you. Blessed friends, better friends, positive friends, new social friends are coming. Friendship is flourishing in new and better ways over the next year. Now, as Jupiter sits in your 11th house and in a superior position to Venus, he blesses her. She's in your first house if you're a Virgo rising. That's your avatar, simulation, identity, character, and your body. If this is you as a Virgo sun, it's your career and your eternal nature, your spirit. And if it's your career purpose. And if it's your moon, it matters to do with your emotions and your mind. You think and you feel and you think. And it's also connected for you moons in Virgo to your home and where you live. But you can listen for all three. We just are just going to say it's very intense for you, but very positive. You've been going through Venus, traveling through your sign. She's out of there by the 14th of October. Last week, she crossed over the South Node. Where did you feel a deep sense of loss last week? And maybe, was it a real loss? You know what I mean? Because she is importantly going to still bring you what she can in terms of like Jupiter, more what you need. But you might have felt this sort of gut-wrenching feeling last week of something falling away from your life. It could have been something you cherished or valued or thought was desirable and no longer serves you. It could have been a career path, something with your home life, relationship, any of those variables. And so you're basically coming off of that sort of surrendered release of last week. And as this week begins Monday through Sunday, the Band-Aid from heaven, Jupiter, is coming in to cheer you up. And he's coming from like this crew up here. I mean, that's often like a friend. Somebody really wants to look out for you and they're going to bring you some positive opportunity. A friend can bring you a job opportunity. In fact, Venus has been here in your Virgo territory already for a while. I can't remember when she first got here. Now, just for you, I'm going to have to go back and check because it's too important, because I'm going to tell you a story. She got here when? She got here around September 20th. Okay. So September 20th to October 14th. That's a long stay for her, by the way. She basically is telling you, I'm trying to bring you lucky opportunities from people who have your back. Okay. Friendship circles, elder sibling, networking, whatever. Somebody wants to support you and give you an opportunity. And it may be career related because Jupiter's bringing profitability from your career as well. So as that story is happening this week ahead, Monday through Friday, you might be having that unfoldment of an opportunity in career. You might also notice that you could feel better, like your health, your body, your emotional state. Like Jupiter is really leaning in and saying, it's okay. We've got this. I've got you. No matter what last week or two was about, we're okay now. Like, hang in there. He's like your team cheerleader, fairy godfather. Pennies from heaven. If financial struggles are one of your challenges, then there's no doubt about it. You could lob a pennies from heaven windfall your way this week. Thank you to Venus and Jupiter. Bless them. Or if you're having troubles in an existing relationship, he'll try to smooth the waters of that relationship out and bring you a greater joy and enjoyment and ease with that person that you might already be with. It's not the most classic setup to start something new. I'm talking about people already in relationships. Okay. And Jupiter's really working it here for you in any long relationships where, you know, you're being tried and tribulated with Saturn, right? Since 2023 March, to up-level the relationship to something more solid or to let it go. And you're still being tested to the next February. And this is Jupiter going, we can do it. We can do it. This relationship can get stronger and better and more stable. We can do it. And he's working with you this week to really give you evidence that that is true and that that is possible. Let's see what Kim Kranz has to say from the Animal Oracle deck for you in the week ahead. I'm surprised to get the dolphin. Literally love the dolphin energy. Isn't that a beautiful card? I think of dolphins as playful creatures. I don't know what this is going to say. I know last couple of weeks have been somewhat hellacious for some of you. I have a girlfriend who has been traveling Europe in the last, like she's been gone, and I'm not going to see her till she gets back, I think tonight or tomorrow. And I'm going to ask her, oh gosh, how has it been for you? What has been the difficulty while you were away? Dolphin. My son's a Virgo sun. My daughter's a Virgo rising. One of my best friends is a Virgo. So we've got Virgos all over me. Let's go get it. Down, down, down. Virgo, dolphins. There we go. Again, isn't this just beautiful? I should have always held the card up when I was reading. Innately intelligent. This is your week. How to approach this week ahead as you get the soothing balm of Jupiter. Innately intelligent. Healer. Light blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human mind can grasp. Dolphin personalities are drawn to healing arts, and they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. Now, I would also say to see healers this week for you. I don't care what, massage therapist, Reiki, chiropractic, psychological healing. Find your healers this week. If you need a healer, go see a healer. Get a foot massage. That's healing. Reflexology. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. So this week, think of these things I'm about to tell you. These creatures play for these creatures play. Oh, for these creatures play an important role in the wheel of karma, that coming in contact with a dolphin type can change your entire course of your day and thus your life. The card indicates a profound blessing is on the way this week. When you are in balance, you are an active healer, a strong spirit, and you have a strong spiritual practice this week. I still say you can also go see a healer this week. When you're out of balance this week, you underestimate your own power. And to bring yourself into balance, you need to find like-minded spirits. Okay. That's Jupiter in the house of friends. Okay. Like-minded spirits in friendship and social settings. All right, moving to Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Don't forget, if you like this kind of content, and I'm providing it here for you, and you haven't hit that like button or subscribed, would you consider doing so? I would appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Now, Libra, this is a story just like the Taurus folk, where Venus is your ruler, and she joined forces with Jupiter August 12th in Cancer and seeded a blessing that lasts an entire year until next June. And it's blessing you in a particular part of the sky that represents your career and reputation. So I have a girlfriend, she's off in the Cotswolds in England doing this big tour and her book, and she's writing another book and she's getting awards, and she's been blessed by Jupiter up here since, oh my God, when did he get in here? I think the end of May, early June. So you got him up here till next July. And this is an important seeding that happened August 12th and gives you a whole year of career blessings. End of story. Reputation. Oh, you're retired. Then what are you doing in the world that people are cheering you on because you're doing it? And you're so happy to be doing it. And you feel satisfied, and accomplishments are bubbling up from the thing you're doing in retirement. Now, Jupiter up here with Venus can promise weddings. Not just through till next year, but the year after. Some of you, if you're a Libra and you're not married at this juncture, you may within the next 2 years be going down the proverbial aisle. So keep that in mind. And with this energy now, Venus has opened you up. Last week was tougher than you would have liked. You felt a little stressed. South Node, this could be foreign lands and cultures, and you were like, I'm in a distant, far off land, and I don't feel well here. I'm feeling awkward. Or you might have been feeling some dip in your international foreign revenue, or you might have been feeling something like solitude and solace are needed to spiritually contemplate my navel. I want to pull away and pull inward and go in my inner life alone. And that might have been challenging last week, right? Even the week before Venus South Node energies. And, you're looking for that sort of contemplative, introspective inner knowing about stuff in your life. And yet maybe that's been not easy to find because of the South Node. Is like finally you've gotten through that challenge, and now you're maybe opening up something from the deeper insights and self-discovery that you've had. And, in this kind of a sky, because Venus is your boss, right? She's doing the best she can for you. She's really might also help you relieve yourself of some attachments you had to your egoic consciousness. There's a lot of enlightenment energy coming through your sky. As she rules your 8th house and your 12th, bringing moksha or awakening to you, if that's something you are interested in, Libra. Now, the thing I want to pay attention to is that you are also going to experience Jupiter giving you a healing balm this week, as he, in your house of reputation and career, flows to that thing that's going on behind the scenes in your life. You don't tell people what goes on in your 12th house. It could have been a lot of psychological distress. And now Jupiter is flowing to that South Node Venus. She's past the worst of it this Monday to Friday, and you're starting to feel a lot better. This could even bring you into professional travel to a distant land or shore or foreign place as this week opens up Monday through to Saturday even, or an opportunity emerging, whether you take the trip or not. That's another story. And so we're going to go ahead and open up the Kim Kranz deck. I will remind you that you still have the sun in your sign all the way through to the 3rd week of October, which can be kind of difficult on your body and burn you out. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's how, first of all, the sun's not in great shape in Libra. anyway. It's fallen, but it's just that you're under that bright light. And sometimes instead of vitalizing it, it's like exhausting. So take care of your health, get enough sleep as well as this week progresses. So what we're going to do is draw a card for Kim Kranz for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and see what you've got going on here. And, Venus South Node, it's not great for your health, right? So take care of your body last week, the week before, and this week coming. But Jupiter will bless your health because he's Jupiter, but still, like, you want to pay attention to your health. Bat. Okay, now I think this is interesting because when I think about I always call it the cave of the 12th house. That's where Venus is sitting with the South Node, the cave of the 12th house. There's your bat. Let's take a look at that. Now I suddenly hear a bat out of hell or something. All right. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's get the bat out of here, in here. Bat. Bats are interesting creatures. They look like little mice to me, moving on sonar. But I've had some really powerful synchronicities in my life regarding bats. So I'm not afraid of bats. Darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth. Okay, so the 12th house is like the early dawn hours when the sun is barely visible. It's like coming up. The 12th house where Venus is sitting and is the cave, the solitude, the alone, the ashram, the contemplative place. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this for you. All right, before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is a master of the subtle senses, of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. Well, you're going to prosper in your career, whether you like it or not. So there is that. Thank you, Jupiter. You are in a stage of flow here. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move. Oops. The bat card shows up to signify the ending of a chapter and then the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. When the in balance, you accept, adapt, and adjust this week ahead. So try that, accepting, adapting, and adjusting this week ahead. If you're out of balance this week, you will refuse to let go and be reminiscing about things. And to get into balance, you need to watch the sunrise. Yes, because the 12th house is where the sun is rising. It's rising in the first, and then it goes in above the horizon in the 12th. You guys are yes. Watch the sunrise. Can't wait to talk to my Libra friend when she gets back from the Cotswolds, Renee, to ask her how it was during this energy of the Venus South Node transit. All right, moving on to the next sign, and that will be you guys, the Scorpios, and got you guys in my life too. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Like, I got a lot of you. Scorpio, you are going to experience Venus and the Jupiter story this way. Back in August 12th, Venus, Jupiter joined in your 9th house. Some of you, not just this year to next summer, but next summer to summer of 27, may move to a foreign country, go back to school, re-educate yourself, receive some prosperity and luck financially, maybe from an inheritance, and may also find yourself wanting to identify with a spiritual path, meditation, spiritual tradition, or spiritual ideology. These are all things that a lot of Scorpios will open up to, as well as publishing deals and great success there as well. Now, that's a backdrop story. The Jupiter-Venus conjunction has opened up the first sextile. Venus is not great here. She's fallen in your 11th house of friendships, social circles and groups, benefactors and allies. And last week and the week before might have felt disappointing with people that are in your social circles or a sibling one older. You might have felt disappointed or let down by people, and the profitability or career gains financially may have been less than yay you. You might have went like, oh, this is less than I expected. I'm not so thrilled with the money I'm getting off of this career opportunity situation, whatever. And so you can feel that energy behind you, right? Last week and the week before. And now the opposite is coming through. Now you're going to feel like Jupiter wants to help you come back to life. And he's flowing from the house of God. He's like the guide, the mentor, the teacher, the spiritual guru or something energetically. And he's flowing over to that Venus. This could open up a travel opportunity with a friend to a foreign place. This could open up travel, romantic travel abroad with somebody that you are cherishing in your life, like a romantic partner, lover, or sibling or spouse, and some travel plans or travel opportunities, whether you're actually on the road or you're booking things. This is opening up for you. And it's, even though it's really exact this week ahead, it's still flowing through to October 14th. The energy here can also bring you some kind of unexpected windfall that's karmic and it's destined, a little bit of pennies from heaven raining unexpectedly on your head as you look at Monday through to Friday. Finally, because friends that live in your 11th house, right? There could be a friend from your past coming through with something positive, an opportunity, a break, an offer that you weren't expecting. You may hear about from any means, a phone call, text, or email, especially with Mercury charging into your first house. So pay attention for these kinds of friends from the past returning with favors for you. Even tips about new job opportunities would be possible in this kind of a story. Now we're going to go ahead and pull a card from Kim Cran's The Animal Spirit Guidebook to see how you might manage this opening sextile between Venus and Jupiter in the week ahead, Scorpio. Let's see what we got. I need to be out of here in 20 minutes. The Crow. It's a farmer's market day in Vancouver. The Crow. I love crows. Crows are my people. I had a dream years ago. I was a half crow, half human. The top half of my body was human and the bottom half was crow. Okay. Here we go. Spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. These are your keywords: spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. Yeah. Well, does that make sense that you could be those things this week ahead based on the eternal sun sign of the spotless heart, based on the sky? Yes, because Jupiter is in the house of knowledge, wisdom, and God. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural, has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. And it is said crow holds within its mind the eye, when its mind's eye, the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should be tapped this week when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their life with a healthy diet and joyful friends and regular self-study. Jupiter's in the house of higher academic study and learning and knowledge. And of course, joyful friends, that's where Venus is sitting in your 11th house. Say, heck yeah, that card makes sense. When in balance, you are psychic, strong, and clear this week. If you're out of balance, you are ungrounded and hypersensitive this week. And to bring yourself into balance, you need a daily meditation practice. Now, come on, I said to you, Jupiter is trying to call you to some spiritual practice and Venus is cooperating. And Jupiter and Venus are trying to do that on steroids for the entire next year until June. So find your spiritual center, find your practice. It's easier said than done. I totally get it. We're so busy. I'm so busy. I try not to watch anymore. I'm not watching unless I have to do some research astrologically. I'm mostly watching people who inspire me, listening on my phone to Eckhart Tolle or other people who spiritual wisdom, because I need a diet, a digital diet that's healthy. How about you guys in the comments? Let me know about your digital diet. And we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Don't forget, this is a story that goes back to August 12th when Venus and Jupiter co-joined together in your Cancer sky right up here. Chunky money, unearned income, tax rebates, investment payoffs, spousal support money, inheritances, the whole gamut is here for you. And there's a big, nice, beautiful vibe that blesses you through till next June as Venus and Jupiter joined and created a coordinated success story in your 8th house. If you're an occultist, like tarot card reader and diviner, psychic, that's going to expand your powers and abilities in that regard as well. Some of you may even expand your abilities there to use it professionally. That's because Venus rules your house of work. And so there's something going on about that sky for you that's quite enjoyable. Jupiter is the Lord of your sign. You got to know that he's got your back, but he gives you what you need, not always what you want. This week, there's an opening sextile from Venus in your 10th house of career and reputation. Now go back to last week and even the week before that. Were you feeling depleted in your work or career or disappointed? Or was there any kind of problem with a relationship that was kind of publicly seen, like the whole world knew that you broke up with somebody or that your relationship was in stress? Or did you get some kind of difficult circumstance financially connected to a loss regarding work or career, maybe losing your job or demotion, or maybe just the company's stressed and they're not giving raises, but whatever. Some of you might have felt that if you're employed, of course. And if you're not employed, then how did your reputation feel like it was suffering? You didn't like the way people were seeing you in the world. It was like a downer for you last week, the week before, those kinds of things. This week, there's something new happening because Venus is receiving lots of Band-Aid love and soothing words from Jupiter. And you might find there's some opportunities financially in your career that you didn't anticipate, a sign-on bonus, a severance package, a performance review check, like a glow up. You might get a little bit of money connected to career that you were like, that you're grateful to receive. Let's call it that. Just grateful to receive. That's because Venus rules the prosperity and gains of the career, which is why some of that might have felt terrible last week and the week before. And Jupiter's trying to cut a check almost, here's the money. If you do have an eldering female in your ancestral line, grandma or an eldering mom, maybe some money's coming to you from that elder, whether they're passing away or just realizing they want to support you. There may be some of that going on as well. Now, what we're going to do is draw a card from Kim Cran's Animal Spirit Guidebook for you, how to handle the energies of the week ahead in this opening sextile. Not to remember, this is testing the new waters of the 8th house stories that you're now going to be prospering in, not just for till next summer, but even a year after that, till summer of 27. Tiger. Hey, Tiger. Wow. Now I'm hearing Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. Eye of the Tiger. Well, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's not showing up yet. Panther, lizard, scorpion. I think it might be past the panther. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so the panther, the tiger. Lunar force, feminine energy, Venus in the 10th house, and ease in darkness. All right. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. The card reminds us to take in the wild darkness this week ahead and to allow the lunar forces as a full moon in Aries on the 6th. It's beautiful and powerful. To allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantages of these boons. So spend time in silence this evening, every evening this week ahead, Monday through Friday, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. So this week ahead, to be in balance, you will be strong, sensual, and passionate. And when you are out of balance, you are overstimulated. And the South Node is pulling you out of the public eye to the midnight hour underneath, right? The 4th house. And to bring into balance, you are supposed to do candle gazing, which is called Trataka. So, that makes sense. The North Node is expanding the midnight hour, the 4th house of your chart, and Venus is sucking down the energy with the South Node of getting out of the public eye, getting out of the outer world and going into that quiet midnight hour. So that makes sense. Let me know how it goes. If that makes sense for you even to do that as well. So Capricorn, you are experiencing Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. You are experiencing a story in the sky where you're noticing that Jupiter and Venus came together in your 7th house on August the 12th and promises you a rose garden in long-term committed love, marriage, and long-term relationship, or an increase of exposure to client audience marketplace. If that's making sense to you, fine. So, and this would be like a blessed new beginning and a new kind of love that's trying to happen. And it will unfold by next June. And if this happens to be your story, great. If you're in a relationship, it could bring blessed endings. It could also, as of August 12th, mean that new business alliances and business partnership agreements that are quite lucrative could come your way over the next year. And you might attract female spiritual gurus or teachers. That's another code there for you through till next June. So Capricorn, as you're looking at the sky, you'll notice this week that. So I'm talking about Capricorn, and somehow my new Zoom settings after 40 minutes or so says this meeting shall end. And I have to patch this together on iMovie. Yes, I know I'm not going to use Zoom anymore. I'm going to go get something. I heard there's a platform called Riverside. I'll try that one. And I'm no longer using Zoom to record my videos for you guys because this is stupid. These are like stupid. And I even lost the annotation feature. Okay, moving back to Capricorn. Like, I don't have exactly time to paste together iMovie and export it. You've got to be kidding me. All right. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. I was talking to you. We're just patching together about this new relationship guru, all the good stuff that could come your way. I was going to say that Venus South Node of the ninth house could make you feel depleted or a sense of loss or surrender regarding a spiritual path that you've been on. If you've been on a particular spiritual path, seeking God, following religious rites, looking for truth and wisdom, you might be getting ready to dump it down the drain or let it go. And last week and the week before, you might have felt disenchanted, disappointed, or somewhat at odds with that path. You may also be meeting soulmated, fated, destined females from foreign shores and lands. That's Venus South Node, connected to spiritual wisdom and truth. And that might be true ever since Venus got into this part of your chart on September 20th. But last week was kind of a need to release or let go or deepen a relationship with a foreign female or foreign teacher and make it much more stronger. That could also happen, especially if the ally of that connection is about spiritual truth. You might also be finding that you have some losses or disappointments or difficulties regarding travel, foreign lands, and foreign shores. That's true since September 20th, and I think I know a guy who went to see a guru for a satsang in Oregon and was sort of disappointed with it during that South Node Venus transit. And so that's an example. So those stories are happening. And then like last week is kind of like the bucket falls out and you have to like release, surrender, and let go of something. It could be a spiritual philosophy, a relationship, a path. You could be letting go of an academic goal, a book publishing deal, and surrendering it to a legal matter that's outside of your control. That's an example. Now, Jupiter's trying to smooth the waters and he's looking over at Venus and saying, I got you. This is just fine. We're going to move you towards something positive. And now Venus is like on the runway, like a plane getting ready to take off. And where she's headed is your career. And she's going to get there October the 13th, 14th, and she'll be there for 3 weeks. So it's also a time where your reputation and career are going to shift. Now, it can be things like you're going to have a visible reputation coming as I'm in a relationship, like everyone look at me, or it could be a shift towards some kind of career ambition and a business deal or contract. And you're getting ready for that. And Jupiter's giving you this love Monday through Friday. And a lot of that could feel like, yay, golden opportunities are coming my way for my career, for my educational stories, or for an opportunity to travel to a distant land, for a foreign country or shore. And whatever this is, don't forget, Jupiter only brings you what you want, what you need, not what you necessarily want, but always it's going to be good for you. So look to this week for that. I think some of you could get destined, fated opportunities to travel. If you travel to another country, because this is foreign lands, you're going to travel to some place that is literally a place you've been before. Okay, because the South Node indicates it's connected to the past in some way. And you have the hummingbird. Now, another sign had the hummingbird. I think it was Aries. So you're the second sign to get the sweet nectar of hummingbird energy. Let us read this. Is that actually showing? I hope not. Let us read this card from Krim Kranz, the Wild Unknown. Hummingbird is an air sign. So we got to get the little air thingy up. Hummingbird. I was up at 4:30 a.m. this morning, guys. And I'm recording on Sunday at almost noon. I am zonking out. 4:30. That's too early to get up. I am getting up early these days, but that was ridiculous. Redonkulous. There we know it's a firefly. Hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. You are positive, enthusiastic, and spiritually resourceful this week ahead. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. Yeah. thought, oh, fuck, I better be recording. The hummingbird's secret is that they have learned where to gather nectar, and they return to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, and every moment is worth savoring. If this week ahead you are in balance, you are smart, curious, and you love to learn. And if you are out of balance, you are pushy, insistent, and sharp. And to get into balance, you need to take a class. I just had a terrible feeling when I went up to get my tea that I forgot to restart the recording, which would pretty well indicate that I'm going to hot mess of patching this stuff together. Okay. I should never stop the recording for any reason ever. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. I'm definitely one of you. What do we got going on? We got a lot going on here. Jupiter, Venus, say work, career, health, rentals, pets, and tenancies are all going to be favorable starting in August 12th through till next June the 9th. That is where they bless us. And this new seed planting opens up into the house of taxes. And it's so funny because Venus South Node taxes, my YouTube manager guy reminded me I had to reset my W8BN form because I'm a Canadian making money through a US institution in my tax files on YouTube. And I just did that like a couple of days ago. So that's a perfect example of, because it was coming due in 3 months. That's a kind of example of, taxes and other people's money, royalty income, ad income, shared incomes, investment incomes, inheritance monies, whatever. So this is where Venus has been traveling. She was here with the South Node since last September 20th. Last week in particular, she crossed the South Node, which could have been a sense of something about that part of your sky being really intense, needing to surrender or let go of some part of your life, maybe some kind of unearned income, passive income source. It was time to let it go. Maybe there is some inheritance from a female in your family system that could look like an elder female passing money your way, Aquarius. This is also shared spousal resources and assets. Maybe some of you are looking at letting go of money you share with a spouse. It's the end of the spousal support agreement, that kind of stuff. Now, their occult mysteries are here, and enlightenment is here. Moksha, spiritual liberation, is here. So some of you might be diving even deeper last week and the week before into your spiritual life, into seeking spiritual truth and wisdom, especially also looking to childhood matters and remembering what doesn't make sense anymore, like let go, let God of all those things from your childhood that you thought were important. The lessons are being like released or surrendered from those times, even from past lives. So that's all kind of the vibe of last week and the week before. And now Jupiter's loving you up in the 6th house with a lot of flow to Venus. It could look like a chunk of money could come your way that you didn't earn, you didn't expect it. Here comes a check or some unexpected income, kind of fated and destined. You deserve it. An unexpected opportunity in the work environment that also benefits you financially. Hearing from an occultist or somebody who you would consider like, a paranormal, supernatural, occult type person, and some opportunity in a work related setting with regards to that situation. And if you've been in a relationship that's secret, some people have secret love affairs. Last week and the week before might have been telling you it's time to let it go. You don't want to be in a hidden romantic or secret love affair. And so that could also be where Jupiter's saying, we've got this, especially if it was an office romance and we're letting it go, where something better wants to happen in your life than a secret, affair, for example. And that's what I've got for you. Just know that Venus up here with Jupiter in the 6th house could bring a new, very interesting rental property opportunity to you where, you go, oh, I think I'd like to rent that office space, or I like to rent that property, or, you as could lease your own space to someone else. Those are other opportunities that may emerge this week ahead. So let's go ahead and draw a card from the Animal Spirit Guidebook for you and pray that Lori did record, hit the start the recorded button over again and did not do that. Stingray. Yee. Ay. I don't know. Stingrays. I'm afraid of stingrays. I think you could step on them and it's not a good idea. One time I was snorkeling off the coast of Bali off a fisherman's boat with my friend at the time. This is way back in 2005 or 4. And I was following a barracuda. Because I thought this is a cool, long snake-like fish, and I'm snorkeling, right? I don't even have scuba gear. And I'm following this beastie and I'm thinking this is a really cool animal. And I get on the boat and I see one of them in the fisherman's boat. And I say, what is that? And he's like explaining it's a barracuda. And then it's got a lot of sharp teeth and it's not a friendly beast. So yeah, I'm still here to tell the tale. Stingray. Sorry, guys, I have to find it. It's an upside down triangle. Hmm. Stingray coming. There we go. For this week ahead, fellow Aquarian, sun, moon, and rising, the stingray is telling us the following things. We need to develop self-confidence, a sense of self, or a spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in our personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, the easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, the challenging, uncomfortable, or unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision more complicated. No matter what choice you make now, it's inevitable that this week ahead, the dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. When you're in balance this week, you are eager and you want to grow. And if you're out of balance, you blame others and you quit. Bring yourself into balance. You need to move through the discomfort. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect that for us. But you know, the eighth house is often the deepest parts of our discomfort, our psychological, shame, blame, abandonment, wounds, abandonment, betrayal, and shame belong to the eighth house. And there's a lot of gunk in there. That's why we get spiritually liberated, because we disassociate from our egoic identity. So Stingray has got some interesting stories there, guys. We have to get out of, when we're out of balance, we're blaming others, right? And that comes from that wounded psyche of the eighth house. Okay, yeeks, I'll let you know how that goes for me. I thought I'd get a much more cheerful card, but I get it. The eighth house where Venus is ain't the cup of roses or whatever. And let's move into the final sign, which is Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a story that you guys are going to experience as very beautiful because it's flowing to you. Why is it flowing? Jupiter and Venus in Cancer got together in the house of children, good fortune, winning money, speculation, gambling, winning, entrepreneurship, creative, artistic projects, your own children, prosperity, connected to your children, fertility, connecting to you or your children. This is definitely a transit to birth grandchildren into your life, or for you or your partner to make babies out of it, more family coming. But it's also a good fortune house with a good guy in it. And Venus joined here last year, August the 12th this year. And that means that by next June 9th, this story is your story. So certainly there is a possibility of some serious financial win for you, but also more children in the family, more expansion of your creativity, more muse inspiration, more entrepreneurial success, more romantic success. If you're single, this is blessing you on the romantic front. And if you're with somebody, it might juice up the sexual energy again if it's been a little bit dormant. Now, this is the opening sextile, and Venus is in the house of a spouse or long-term love partner. And it's flowing to the creative, romantic, and fun and play area of the chart. It could be an attempt by the sky to open you up towards more enjoyment in your existing relationship. Because if you go back to last week, South Node Venus, did your partner have a health challenge? And the week before, or did your partner go through a difficult experience emotionally, mentally, physically? Because it could have been your partner was down in the dumps last week and the week before. And now you're going to come up the other end with some kind of like icing on the cake of disappointment or challenges that probably was less about you and more about your partner. If you have an audience or a marketplace, it could have been something going on with your audience and marketplace, a disappointment, a loss. But if it was your actual relationship, if you had one, then it would be what I've described. You could have started a new relationship last week and it would have been very faded, South Node Venus, but Venus has fallen here and it wouldn't be the best start place for a new beginning, my humble opinion. And disappointment in the relationship, whether the partner has their own life disappointments or the relationship is experiencing a downdraft last week, there's a new renewal energy that wants to happen this week. Something new wants to happen. Jupiter wants to bless the relationship. He's quite prosperous in the house of good fortune financially if you are going to get like a financial win, so to speak. a lucky financial break. And it could benefit you, your partner, a significant other, and you in your life. Venus rules the house of a sibling one younger. This could also involve some turning point situations regarding siblings in general, specifically a sibling one younger if you have one, and some luck in their lives as well, or just a luck in the life of a sibling in general. That's another thought. And certainly Venus has a chunky money angle coming into action in mid-October through to early November. And so you could be looking at some really significant gains through your partner's life, like their family, your in-laws, or just some lucky gains coming into the relationship that benefit you extremely a lot. Let's go ahead and let's do Kim Kranz. Kim Kranz. Why would somebody be in my waiting room middle of the day on a Sunday? I'm not teaching anything that I can see. Did I forget that I'm teaching something? Shoot. Okay. Let's draw a card from Kim Kranz, Animal Spirit for the Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising. The wolf. The wolf, hungry like a wolf. And we're going to get that little upside down triangle going here for the wolf. I'm going to find it. Give me a minute. Kim Kranz. We needed a table of contents, girl. Here we go. The wolf. Guardian of family and tribe, activism and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, such as religious political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. And this includes children. Yeah, because your children belong to the fifth house. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. Embrace all, exclude none. When you're in balance this week ahead, you are reliable and fearless and democratic. And when you are out of balance, you are judgmental and dominating. And to bring yourself into balance, you need to practice letting go. Well, I would say let go of anything to do with your children, for sure. That's where Jupiter is, but also being judgmental of your spouse or long-term committed love partner who might be going through some really interesting stuff with that South Node over there, and including health challenges, so being less judgmental, more tolerant as well. Hopefully that's useful. I usually have an outro, and lately I've been just so busy teaching my Sky Reader class, but I would share a synchronicity run with you. My ex-partner, James, we're really good friends, sent me a Rumi quotes, 3 Rumi quotes. It's a synchronicity story. He sent me 3 Rumi quotes and he made a joke about it. And he said, "This is so you." And one of the Rumi quotes was about wine. And it was really funny. He texted me and it was like, literally every of the 3 Rumi quotes was me. And the last one was about Rumi said, like, give me wine or give me nothing or something. And so what happened was he sent me the text message, and then the next day I was in my class teaching Sky Reader, and somebody named Rumi is in my class, and the name Rumi comes across my screen. I don't see everybody who enters into the Zoom room during class. People enter late. I was actually at the slideshow and I saw the name Rumi pop up, and my assistant let that person into the classroom. And I'm like, okay, that's Rumi times 2. And then I drew a tarot card that day. And I was asking for guidance about a dream I had, and a very profound dream, a very spiritual enlightenment type dream. And I was asking, what's this dream about? And I got the card Transformation from the Time Traveler deck. Yeah. And you won't believe this. Okay. Like, you cannot believe this. And then you just really can't. Let me see if I can find it for you. The picture's so beautiful. And the card is called Transformation, right? And you just won't believe what it is. And this is my synchronicity. My world has gotten nuts. I'm trying to write The Wine Lover's Middle Way, which is really an enlightened book posing as a sobriety book. And I will be writing that one day. I have the domain and all of that shit. But okay, well, I wanted to show you the picture because it's so beautiful. But knowing me, I put the picture on, like I did I prop this baby up somewhere because I thought it was so beautiful that I wanted to put it on a bookshelf. I hope not, because I want all the deck to have all the cards in it. Well, anyway, it's a Rumi card from this deck. And what it was was a picture of whirling dervishes in Rumi's Sufi, right? And when I did the write-up, when I read about it, it said this, it's all about Rumi of Persia. And I better find that card because I did it for myself. It's probably floating around my house. And there's 3 Rumis in 24 hours. 3 Rumi the poem, the character in my class, and my partner sending me the Rumi quotes. And then I had a dream about wine the next day, another enlightenment dream, but it had wine at the end of it. I knew what it was telling me. It was that the Wine Lover's Middle Way book is really about being fully present in our lives. We drink wine, we smoke cigarettes, we do whatever. We do whatever we do. We watch too much TV, Netflix. We get junk digital. We need digital detox. We get caught up in the world to distract ourselves, right? It's like, I got to get the fuck out of this place. I'm distracting myself from the thinking mind and the feeling and the thinking and the thinking and the feeling. That's not who we are. And then wine and alcohol is the same idea. Like, it's a decompression, it's a dopamine hit, it's an escape, it turns the mind off. But as Eckhart Tolle says, we sink below the mind with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, and escapist tendencies. And we rise above the mind with a spiritual enlightenment by meditating, being still, calming the mind, being in presence. And so I think the dreams have been showing me I'm going to write the book, but I also have to find the path perfectly for myself. I'm not about to lead people down a path that I haven't figured out. And all that said and done, my Wine Lover's Middle Way. I mean, I drink a glass of wine with dinner kind of thing. I don't drink bottles of wine by myself, but I know that it's, a habit that I need to end. Is there something weird with my hand? Yes. Oh, it's not like an injury. That red stuff is something that had beets. Was I chopping beets? It's something I touched. All right. That's it. The intro was just about pay attention. When you get 3 synchronicities like that in less than 24 hours, that's a very powerful synchronicity. It's trying to tell you something. And so there you go. Have a great week ahead, everybody. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Check out Renn Butler's class. I'll see you next time. Hopefully, all this video is patching together properly.